All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something really cool, decision trees. You know, organizations use these all the time as a really powerful analytical tool to map out choices and figure out what the consequences might be. But instead of just giving you a dry textbook explanation, we're going to explore exactly how this branching logic takes really complex, layered scenarios and turns them into clear, actionable pathways.
But hey, before we actually build one of these models, we really need to answer a foundational question. To which kind of problems are decision trees actually most suitable? I mean, decision models in general are super versatile, right? But there are definitely specific scenarios where this tree format is literally the absolute best tool for the job. So, what does this all mean for us?
Okay, let's dive into this. According to our source material, decision trees are perfectly built for a few key areas. First and foremost, sequential decision-making problems. This is where one condition leads directly to another, basically creating a whole hierarchy of choices. They're also an amazing fit for risk analysis and, decision-making under uncertainty. Using a tree allows you to systematically weigh your potential gains against the actual likelihoods of different events happening. It's a real game changer for strategy. To really grasp why trees are so incredibly effective for these kinds of problems, it kind of helps to contrast them with decision tables. Now, tables are great, sure, but mostly for flat, complex logical conditions where you have to explicitly list every single combination of rules. Decision trees, on the other hand, well, they thrive on hierarchy. Instead of just dumping everything into a massive list all at once, a tree breaks conditions down into a step-by-step flow. It makes the whole thing vastly more readable when you're dealing with sequential decisions.
A really classic example of this is predicting whether a customer is actually going to buy a product. Instead of relying on this massive, endless text document of business rules, the problem gets mapped out visually. We can predict the final outcome based on 3 sequential conditions. In this specific case, we're looking at income, age, and previous purchase history.
Let's walk through how this actually builds. If we follow the decision flow from top to bottom, the whole sequence kicks off at what's called the root node. Here, it asks our very first condition: is the customer's income greater than $50,000? Now, if the answer is yes, we follow that branch down to an internal node, which then asks if their age is greater than 30. Notice the sequential logic here. We only evaluate their age if they met the income criteria first. Actually, if they didn't meet that first rule, we check a totally different condition, maybe something like their previous purchases. And finally, we hit the leaf nodes. These are the terminal points that reveal the final definitive outcome, either purchase or no purchase.
So ultimately, the whole concept really comes down to this core principle. Use a branching logic to chart possible outcomes and the consequences of different choices. Decision trees take all that chaos, the uncertainty, the multi-layered conditions, and they organize it all into this beautifully intuitive hierarchy. So as you look at your own workflows, think about the biggest, most uncertain choice you are facing right now. How could mapping those conditions into a step-by-step sequential branching tree completely transform the way you tackle it? Food for thought. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.